What would Glen do? We have got another episode where I interview you, podcast listeners and YouTube viewers, and you ask me your financial questions. We spend a bit of time going through your current situation in quite a bit of detail. Then we'll swing back around and I will tell you what I would do. And that's a really important thing. I want to just remind everyone who is listening, if I say something like, oh, this is what I would do, and you disagree, that's totally okay, because guess what? You're not Glen James, and the name of this whole series is What Would Glen Do? So just want to preface that before everyone gets outraged. But today we've got a young professional, and she wants to know what would Glen do. And then what we'll do is ask her what level of Glen that she wants. But as we know, my name is Glen James. And who have we got and what are we doing?
This is Natalie and you're listening to Money, Money, Money.
Awesome. Before we get into it, this show is general advice only, and I've got a license to provide that advice. Full details can be found in the show notes. I'm a former financial advisor. Now I do the Money, Money, Money podcast. If you're a regular here, we call it M3, and we do a podcast called Retire Right. I've got a book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, is available wherever good books are sold. There's a link in the show notes if you want to turn up your investing to 11, or if you're just getting started. Let's get into it. Thank you so much for being here today. All right, Natalie, I don't know if you saw it in the Facebook group, but we've got a bit of a scale of the type of Glen that you want. And if you are new, it's just my response. If someone says something that I think might be a bit outrageous, we can dial in the choose your Glen. So, Natalie, would you like, number 1, as meek and as kind as a church mouse, number 2, caring and polite, number 3, practical and realistic, 4, firm and will tell you straight, or 5, unhinged, insulting and condescending? What Glen would you like, Natalie?
Let's go unhinged, level 5.
All right, let's do it. To be honest, that's the first time someone has wanted unhinged. In the preliminary stuff that you sent through, I don't know if I can get unhinged, because I don't think I could see anything that you've done that is dumb. But hey, if you want me to get unhinged, I'm doing it in jest and with permission to create entertainment. All right, so Natalie, tell me a little bit about yourself. Firstly, Sean, I'll just come back in. So Natalie, what do you want to know what I would do in in your situation?
What I'm going to do next, because we've got a little bit of extra money. So I guess it's the good old, do we put it to the house, super, or invest, really? Yep,
cool. And your verbatim words was, if my employer pays above the super guarantee of 17.5, should I prioritise other goals? So I just wanted to re-loop that in, because that's an important thing to note, that you are on a 17.5% super. So Natalie, we're just going to run through a heap of information. I'll just be like the court clerk, docking someone into the courthouse. So how old are you, Natalie?
I'm 32.
And what do you do for work?
I work at a university doing admin.
Awesome. Do you have a spouse or partner?
Yes, I have a husband.
Oh, Hus Vegas. And what does he do for work?
He's just a general labourer at a Windows company.
Yeah, awesome. How old is his hubby?
He's 38.
38. Do you guys have kids?
No, and not planning to have them either. Not planning?
Sweet. I'll put a big X through that. What are we talking in terms of income? Like, what's your total package and his total package?
So mine would come to about 100,000 with the super. Yep. And his is around the 60 plus super.
Yeah, cool. So how long have you been at your employer?
Over 3 years now.
Okay. And that's pretty stable?
Yes, I am. There's been some transformation around all universities at the moment. So I am looking to increase my job and over the next couple of months. So I'm hoping that should increase.
Yeah, so your income would increase. But in terms of your career, you enjoy the admin side at a university type vibe?
I like the university, but yeah, definitely ready to challenge myself and step up.
Yeah, awesome. And hubby, does he like his job and career?
Yes, he is only new to it. He's only been there a couple of months after his last job closed down. So he's loving it at the moment, but he does have a history of jumping around different jobs.
What was he doing before labouring?
It's all, so he was doing timber framing before that. And
Okay.
then before that, he was an air conditioning mechanic. Before
Yep.
that, he was in hospitality. And before that, he was a landscaper.
Okay, gets bored a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. And does he have a formal trade or qualification?
No.
Okay. But so he's only been there a little while. Sorry, did you say a few months?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty stable. Talk to us about, for everyone listening and watching, I worked through the Glen James Sound Financial House, and we'll start with the 4 foundations. Are you cashed up and debt-free?
Yes.
Okay, so how much cash do you have at the moment that's just sitting there anywhere?
We have 100,000 in our offset.
Yep.
75 of that has been gifted to us from our parents that they will take in 10 years because they just wanted to help with interest repayments, all of that. The other 25 is our emergency fund. We then have another 6,000 just for general savings, and that's about it.
So, yeah, because as I was going to ask, 100K sitting there, that's awesome. And it's awesome that a big chunk of that was a gift. So the gift aside, you've got 25K in an emergency fund and you usually sit around 5K float.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you say at the moment, do you have any other offset accounts with money in there, or is that all your cash in the world at the moment?
That's all our cash in the world at the moment.
Yeah. Now, how old are your parents? It was your parents, yeah?
Yes, my parents are. They're in their late 60s.
Okay. Yeah. So they may have, when they gifted that, have to disclose it as a gift to Centrelink. So they would potentially, doesn't really matter. If they're self-funded, doesn't matter. If they rely on age pension, that 75 is likely an asset. And the reason, I can explain to you and the listeners why I just wanted to drill into the parents' age and any other money in your life is because that 75K gift, given it is just in cash offsetting any interest that you've paid, at any time things can change and you may need to give that back to them if they had an emergency or anything like that. So awesome. So there's no other consumer debt in your life?
No.
Awesome. Do you have a decent spending plan / cash flow management system when we talk about Foundation 2?
Pretty much. So, we have like an everyday that we just top up. Our salaries go into the offset, and just pull when we need it. Yeah.
Just referring to unhinged and insulting and condescending, that sounds like a real sloppy system.
Okay.
No, the only reason because you said we just pull money when we need it. Now,
sorry, we have a certain amount weekly that will cover our weekly expenses.
Yes, okay. And does that go into a separate spending account or do you just live off the offset account?
Into a separate account.
Okay, cool. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to throw some unhinged in there just for the entertainment value. Foundation 3, protection plan. Do you guys have life and income insurances set up?
We're going through that at the moment. So we inquired with Sky Wealth in December. But husband has had a lot of injuries, so it's just taking a little while to get it all finalised.
Yeah, to underwrite that. Awesome. And Foundation 5, your wills and estate planning, do you have wills and power of attorney?
Yeah, they're all sorted.
Sweet. So how much, because you said you've got a good Foundation 2 spending plan, do you know roughly how much is left over in your life per month or per year?
Well, we have about $100 each week left over.
Okay, so between the two of you, there's $5,000 per year that isn't allocated to really anything else.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Now, talk to us about the living arrangements. We know that we've got money offsetting, so that means that you've got a mortgage. What's the home worth?
$880.
Cool. When was the last time that was valued?
Only a month ago. So we've just
Perfect.
redone our mortgage because we are doing a renovation in our bathroom.
Great.
So we had to just pull a little bit of equity out of that.
And what's the loan balance after that wash up?
So 625, I think.
What's the rate of the mortgage?
5.44.
Right. And would have that gone up? Well, it probably will go up given the February increase. So
It's gone up to the 5.44.
Oh, cool. Okay, you got a really good rate there. So talk to us about cars. What are you guys driving around?
So I'm driving a 2014 Hyundai I'm going to run into the ground pretty much.
Yeah.
And husband has a Hilux that we bought 2 years in cash.
Yeah, cool. And how much did you pay for that 2 years ago?
25.
Yeah, awesome. Where did that cash come from 2 years ago?
Just off our offset.
Right, okay, cool. And the reason I asked that is I need to establish whether that money was saved, because that doesn't necessarily instantly reconcile with a spare $5,000 a year unless it was a long time saved. So that's basically the reason I asked that. And for those who are watching and listening in, I'll often ask questions that may not on the surface seem relevant, but when you've done enough meetings with people, you can kind of get a sense, and sometimes you follow something and you discover something that the person didn't think that was relevant, that actually is material to the overall situation, because we all have our own situation and we're living in it and it's our normal, and someone's normal wild thing over here could be normal to them, but wild and crazy to someone else. So that's why I go on goose chases, if you will. Do you have any other boats, bikes, caravans, expensive hobbies?
Expensive hobbies?
No?
No.
Do you have any investing accounts or an investment property?
So no property, but I've got a small Sharesies account of $3,500.
Yeah, cool. And is that just in your name?
Yes.
And how long has that been?
18 months.
Cool. And what's that invested in?
VAS and VGS.
Cool. And are you putting money into that regularly?
Yeah, $30 a week at the moment.
Yeah. Now, getting micro, around that $100 a week left over, does that include the 30 that's going to Sharesies?
No.
Okay, so there's realistically 130 a week left over, and you're putting 30 into Sharesies. Awesome. Talk to us about your superannuation. We know that your employer does 17.5%. Who's your super with?
So we're both with Australian Super.
Did the uni ever just shove you in uni super? What's the deal there?
I would assume they would, but because I've only been there 3 years,
Right.
I rolled over from my previous employer.
Yeah, cool. How's your, what's the balance for each of you?
So I'm at 102,000 and he's at 109,000.
Okay, so both. And what are they invested in? Do you know?
Both high growth.
Yeah, cool. I think I've got enough. Is there anything about your financial situation that you're missing, that I'm missing?
I don't think so.
Yeah, cool. That's a good overview. Well, we'll take a break, and when we get back, I'm going to tell Natalie what I would do. But before I do that, I've got some more questions for Natalie. We'll be right back right after this.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Okay, we're back. You know, just in the break, I was thinking it actually felt bad to go like really rude on purpose just for the entertainment value, because it's not as if I'm just saying that to someone's anonymous comment. It's like I'm looking at an actual person and I'm like, oh, so you don't have a plan? You said you did. Sounds sloppy to me. So we'll work on that. I need to refine. I need to get a bit more cheeky if someone will let me. So based on all that, like, what do you want to do? You know, you've said you've listened to the show for a million years. You're clearly running a good financial ship. What do you want to do?
I would just like to be financially independent. Husband has thrown out the idea of him retiring at 50, but I don't quite see how that could happen, because that's only 12 years away from now, but also understanding he is in manual labour, so how long till his body does give out. Would like to know that I'm set up, and if I wanted to retire, I could when I wanted, I guess. So
when you talk about you want to know that you're set up so you can retire when you wanted, is that because we talk about this crap all the time? Is it because you just want to do heaps of other stuff and not have to work, or working sucks, just let me live?
I think it's just having the option that if I didn't want to work, I could walk away, but I do like what I do. So I can't see myself just going tomorrow. Even if I had $1 million, I'd walk away because I do enjoy what I do. So I think, it's just having the option.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of probably, I wouldn't say red flags, I would say amber flags in this whole situation. And if I was in your family's shoes, I'm really having a bit of a deeper chat with your husband and talking about his career and income. Because for a 38-year-old man, even he's doing labouring and all that stuff, and I know the area that you live, I'm sorry, but 60K income is crap. Like, if I'm going to get unhinged, old mate would be better off to go get a job at flippin' Bunnings and probably have a higher income, and it would be easier on his body. Like,
probably.
And so I actually, have you got a copy of the Sort Your Career Out and Make More Money book?
No, not that one.
Okay, I'll send you, just once we finish this, email me and I'll send you a code. I've got to set one up anyway that you can put in on our website, and I'll send you one for free because I'm sick of, we've got a company who does all the stuff. Anyway, I want him to look at the values and what he values. And that could be, I value autonomy, I value flexibility, I value people. But 60 grand is a crap income for someone who's 38. And the reason I say that with love, no, I don't say with love, I'm unhinged and I'm insulting and I'm condescending. The reason why, he's 38, I know he's actually very skilled. I categorically know because I'm borderline kind of like him. Jack of all trades, not really good at anything. Like, yesterday I'm up a ladder rewiring a PowerPoint. Next minute I'm talking on a podcast. So I get his versatility. So I really want you to nail his income and career. And I honestly think with a bit of effort, he could be doing something that is less on his body and getting 80K a year. Like I think that's fact based on the region that you've told me. Obviously, if he wants to, I've got a friend who's earns quite a low income in a situation, and he's like, I don't care, just go to work, go home, sweet. But the problem is, if you both agree that, well, we want the option to retire early one day or in 12 or 13, 14 years, it ain't on the agenda unless his income picks up. And the good thing is here, right, and you can put this into a calculator, if he got an extra 20 grand a year, I don't think because you're set up pretty clean, you're not going to spend it all overnight. You're not going to find money, whistles and moon pies to blow it on. So you could be like, what if we invested 10 grand a year over 5 years? Well, we know that's going to be 50 grand because that's just the capital. But that's when I think you're in a really good position that if his income increased, you would literally put any increase of what you're getting now into some type of investment. Now, on the super thing, I'm just looking here. Your super at 100K, I mean, the average age for a 30-year-old is about 66K, and I'm just looking at the ART website. Full disclosure, they've paid me to sponsor the show. They say 66 and a half, age 30. I think your super balance is healthy. Me personally, again, the name of this episode, everyone, is What Would Glen Do? What Glen would do would not be to put more in super at the moment for you. I'm looking at either working out, and another side quest of that, I'm working out, well, what does the mortgage increase to? And it won't be hard. Let's just do a quick 75K times 6%. Like, if you had to give that 75K back to mum and dad tomorrow, there goes your $100 a week that you're saving at the moment, okay? So you are living in a little bit of a false economy, and I love it because your parents have been kind, and this is the crap we talk on the Retire Right podcast. If we've got people in their 60s or 70s with quite a bit of money, I want them to, I'm not talking to you, Natalie, I'm having a rant at people that are over 65 listening. If you've got heaps of money, your kids need some help now because society's screwed, right? So good on your parents. And obviously you're not addicted to crack, so they're not dumb. They're like, no, they're sensible and all that. Oh, one other thing in terms of an ADHD zap, do you have any pets?
We have one cat.
Okay, cool. So Cat Vegas, there's cats in good health and all that?
Yeah, now we had some trouble at the beginning, but she's fine now.
Yeah, sweet. So I think it's awesome that you've got this gift because it's literally saving you $4.5 grand a year in interest. And you've got to remember with the home mortgage, that interest of $4.5 grand a year, that's post-tax dollars because it's not deductible. So add a 30% to that, and that's basically the actual benefit that you're getting from them. So I just want to be careful that if they did say, and full disclosure, my parents were able to do something similar like this to me, my sister. That money, it's always in the back of my mind that if something happened, the next day I'm transferring it back. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have to say out loud, this is an awesome thing while it's going good. But if that changed tomorrow, we're living on the line. Now, getting old mate a better job, and I'll honestly say in the unhinged way, old mate needs a better paying job. He's worth more than that as a person. And it's borderline shame on his employer for paying him such low amounts. Said it. So that's what I want him to focus on. Your career, I'm a clairvoyant at the moment. I can really see someone like you, Natalie, in like maybe 3 to 4 years, you have the capacity to be on 150 to 180 if you really dig in to your world and your industry, because there are a lot of white-collar professionals. And in fact, we're rolling out this income survey at the moment, and I think it will be closed by the time we release this episode. But there's a lot of people in like government jobs and corporates and like the education world, like printing money in their 30s, right? So I'd encourage you that 100K should be your floor base camp now. And I honestly think, because as well, you both don't want kids or can't have kids, that reason doesn't matter. The fact is, you guys can lock in, focus on your career now, don't spend any more, and that will give you options later. His super at 100K, it is low relative-ish. It's 35, they say 111 grand, 40 is 168. You might live on a planet where you super split. To him, probably wouldn't bother. But that's a consideration if you wanted to top his up, or if his income increases, maybe you can carve off a little bit extra to get him a bit higher. But all in all, the whole thing here, the shares that's cool. You're spending less than what you earn and you're investing the rest. Now, you could look and say, well, you would want that in the lower income earner's name, but we're going to get his income up anyway, so let's leave it in yours. Does he have an interest in investing and all that stuff?
Not really.
Yeah. What do you like doing in life? You and your partner, like if it's a weekend, there's nothing on, you put a leash around the cat, take the cat for a walk. Like, what type of people are you?
I'm a bit active, so
Yeah.
I'll like go to the gym or do a run, or we'll meet up with friends. He's quite contentious being at home,
Yeah.
pottering around in the garden, so
Yeah, awesome.
he doesn't really have a lot of interests. He just, stays at home most of the time. It's usually me dragging him out.
Yeah, I love it. And usually in relationships, usually there's always exception to the rule. There's one person who's like the go social butterfly and all that, and the other's like, yeah, that's cool, I'll stay here. But yeah, what I would do, I'm in answer to your actual question, I'm not putting any more into your super. I'm focusing on lifting his income and then paying down the mortgage. That's really there's probably not going to be much equity in there at the moment anyway. Even if you were like, we want to buy an investment property one day, you may cap out with the income for servicing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But in summary, what would Glen do? I would not pay extra into your super above the current 17.5%. Did you have anything else that you wanted to ask me about, anything that we've discussed?
Maybe just with the Sharesies account, do I look
Yeah.
at doing a proper brokerage account at some point?
No, look, there's a lot of chatter online. I mean, I've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in custodian accounts. Like, I don't buy into you need a proper brokerage account.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, I would have no problem if someone tomorrow rocked up and put 500K into Sharesies, because you've got to look at the underlying, with these companies, you've got to look at the underlying custody arrangements. And I've blatantly asked Sharesies this. I'm like, what are you doing with the money? Are you lending it out? Are you leveraging it? Are you dicking around? And they've said, no, it's literally a boring custody arrangement. And that's the same with like Superhero and all the collapses that people see and get outraged by when they've lost money in custody arrangements, other than family law. That's the unhinged part. It's to do with when the money goes on custody, the custodian's doing dickery with it. They're loaning out the shares. They're using leverage. There's property involved. So I don't have any of my investments that sit on a HIN traditional broker. And
Okay.
I've got a self-managed super fund all day long. Within that fund, it's on custody. So,
Cool.
so I don't know. I just think keep it up. You're crushing it. How much is your car worth?
Oh, I'd be lucky to get $2,000 for it. It's
Yeah.
got like over 300,000 Ks on it.
Yeah. I would say your 25K emergency fund, I think if we look at textbook emergency fund, that feels a little bit high. Would you agree?
It was, when I did the spending plan, it was meant to be like 27. And I went, 25
Really?
is, yeah.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Oh, no, I might not. I did a chat the other day and this chick was on like 150 and her emergency she said the thing was 12 grand, but I knew that she hadn't done the plan properly. Anyway, ignore me. What do I know? Look, I think you're crushing it. The question, though, the more I think about this as well, you will, like with the car, at some point you will need to buy a new car.
Yeah, probably.
And that's where I was going with the emergency. I was like, oh, can we carve $5,000 out to put into a car savings account? Reality is I'm probably not doing more than the 30 in shares at the moment or investing in the moment until old mate's income increases.
Okay.
Because I want you to have some room in your life. And by room in your life, I mean, well, can we set up another offset account where that money goes in there for a new car in the future?
Yeah.
Do you have any holidays or travel plans, or is that something you guys do?
This year, because we're redoing the bathroom, but we probably will start saving. But we have like a splurge fund that we put money into that would cover that.
Yeah, okay. So that's all I'm thinking is if that $5,000 a year that you've got left over is legitimately left over and you've included some savings for holidays, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, you could commit that $5,000 to either investing or saving up and wanting to buy an investment property if that was what you wanted to do. But yeah, I think you can't wreck it. You're out of consumer debt. You're getting your insurances sorted. You're an adult. You've got your wills and your estate plan. We just need to focus on old mate's income. Anything else?
No, that's about it. It's just, because we had all these benefits of like the extra super or the money already offsetting. It's like, what's the best way to go? Yeah.
I mean, if you want, I don't even want to get spicy and go, let's invest the $75,000. Woo. I think that's a guaranteed return of that 6%, 5.5% on the mortgage, and it's liquid if there's emergencies and stuff. So I think it'll be a completely different situation in 2 years' time if old mate can increase his income and you've worked up through some promotions and your income's increased because it's all up from here.
Yes. Well, that's the plan.
No worries. Natalie, thank you so much for joining us on What Would Glen Do? And that is what I would do. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Natalie. Bye.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.